Kazuaki was a second-year high school student that single-mindedly focused on passing his entrance exam, foregoing all free time in the process. He did everything to be successful and overcome any desire that may fall into his lap, but not everything was going his way. His issue was his classmate, Sano. She was dainty and petite, with silver hair and deep dark eyes, and those eyes kept making contact with his, and he couldn't figure out what exactly she was thinking or doing. The only thing that did come to mind was perhaps Sano liked Kazuaki, and it startled him. But he reeled himself in, believing he's just jumping to conclusions. As he questioned about his self-consciousness, someone else called out to him, saying that he was quite diligent for studying as the new term had just started. It turned out to be his seat neighbor, commenting on his friendless state. Kazuaki managed to brush off the comment, which seemed to surprise the girl nearby. It turned out to be Nishina, a popular and cheery girl who was the opposite of Kazuaki, who commented that she had him all to herself just like the year before. Kazuaki mentally told himself to calm down, as her comment was the usual teasing that she did. However, his face betrayed him, and Nishina asked why his face was red. He told her it was nothing, but mentally, he couldn't agree. Kazuaki flinched in annoyance as he continued to resist what he believed were misunderstandings. Nishina continued to tease Kazuaki, commenting that since they are sitting side by side for the second year in a row, it must be fate, destiny even. However, Kazuaki could only think that Nishina was saying such misleading things all the time. A little annoyed, Kazuaki told her to be careful with what she says, this time causing Nishina to be confused. He told her that she should watch her words because she's cute, which was a surprise to her. However, seeing her expression, Kazuaki believed that she got the wrong idea from his words. As they began to go back and forth with what Kazuaki meant, Sano began to head down the classroom, walking straight towards the bantering pair. The chat between Kazuaki and Nishina ground to a halt as Sano arrived. She stood there, silently, before leaning in closer to Kazuaki's face, with a slight blush on her cheeks, confusing Kazuaki. As he mentally questioned what was happening, Sano asked if he really was Kazuaki, to which he awkwardly admitted that he was. Sano placed a piece of paper on Kazuaki's desk and told him it was her contact info, leaving right after she did so. Nishina asked if Kazuaki knew Sano, and to her surprise, he admitted that he doesn't know her at all. Nishina then talked about Sano in a complimentary way, how she's mysterious and hot, but no one has been seen talking to her, and yet for some reason, she gave her contact info to Kazuaki. Nishina continued to tease Kazuaki, commenting that if Sano wants to be friends with him, it's a good thing. But for a brief moment, she seemed to not be truly happy with what she said. Kazuaki was still thinking about it after he left school, that maybe Sano did like him, and once more, he believed that he was just misinterpreting what she had said, and perhaps there was more to Sano's efforts than he thought. Then, someone shouted Kazuaki's nickname, Aki. It turned out to be a cool beauty called Rui, and she was Kazuaki's younger childhood friend. She commented that she was happy to see Kazuaki, and even happier to know that they were in the same school again. Then Kazuaki noticed all the love letters in Rui's bag, commenting that it was quick. Rui couldn't help but chuckle, saying that it was just a girl thing, she thinks. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew said letters into a nearby fountain, startling Rui. Kazuaki warned Rui that she might ruin her new uniform if she went in after the letters, but Rui was handsome in spirit as much as she was beautiful on the outside, and saved every letter. Seeing her soaked, Kazuaki offered his handkerchief, and told Rui that she's cool and always has been cool. Blushing, Rui casually stated that she might have fallen for Kazuaki all over again, as he hasn't changed in the slightest, and is as kind as when she first met him. This time, it was Kazuaki's turn to blush as he thanked Rui for the compliment, but their moment was interrupted by some Rui fangirls. With a smile and a compliment, Rui left with the girls that were crushing on her, leaving Kazuaki alone in the park. Like a phantom, Sano was suddenly behind Kazuaki, and it took a moment for him to notice her. She had a slight blush on her cheeks and invited him to walk home with her, surprising him. With an innocent look, Sano asked if they couldn't walk home together, and Kazuaki folded like a book, causing Sano to chuckle at his shyness and red cheeks. But Rui also noticed it, and an odd expression washed over her face. Finally trying to figure out what was up with Sano, Kazuaki asked what Sano wanted from him, and she told him that she only wanted to walk home with him, confusing him, but then she added that she had something more to ask him. As Kazuaki realized that he can't figure out Sano, she was asking if she could call him a nickname rather than his full name. Kazuaki hesitated but accepted her request, but as he went to look back at her, he noticed something. Sano was blushing more than usual, happily smiling that her wish was being granted and celebrating her win a little bit. At this sight, Kazuaki blushed once more and was unsure as what to do with himself. Seizing the initiative, Sano then asked for Kazuaki's contact info, which he agreed to with the utmost confusion. Back at home, Kazuaki was burnt out from being constantly surprised and blushing, with his cousin Satori having to knock him back to the present while noting that Kazuaki was completely out of focus. His cousin Satori was his private tutor, helping him achieve his goal of being a top-tier student in university. Kazuaki explained that he had a messy day, and that has him all over the shop. Being sympathetic, Satori told him that since it's only the first day at school, they can stop now, but Kazuaki refused. He told Satori that he wanted to keep going a little longer, and Satori could only pat his head and wish him luck. He then recalled the reason why he would focus primarily on his studies, and to do his best to not misunderstand any of the girl's feelings. It started with his sister's friend. She was overly affectionate and very loving in words and actions. She visited daily and teased him often, which he half-heartedly said he disliked. He believed she was into him, and with all the touching and sweet talk, why wouldn't he? But he was so wrong. But then she ended up marrying someone, even though she'd never said anything about a boyfriend, and it shattered Kazuaki. He felt foolish for believing her kindness was love, and his motivation to study was shot, causing him to miss his first choice of school. His heartbreak was a secret he kept to himself, and he wants it to stay buried. Satori commented in the present that Kazuaki is clever but cracks under pressure whenever exams appear. He thought about how he always makes sure to look serious, but deep down he's a self-centered romantic. Realizing that he might need some help hiding his feelings, he decided to ask Satori. Kazuaki asked how to keep desires in check, as Satori seemed to be a pro at not being distracted from her task in front of her, studying almost like a machine. He wanted that, to be like her. He asked her if she had some sort of secret to the technique, and Satori pondered on her secret and if she should say it. In the end, she told him that her secret will stay a secret, and that's that. Kazuaki was stunned that the thing he wanted to know the most was hidden from him, but surprisingly, Satori told him that even desires sometimes are worth it. Then both were surprised that Kazuaki got a message, as he doesn't have any friends. Kazuaki looked at the message and saw it was from Sano, but he couldn't believe that she was asking him to be friends with them again the next day. He thought that maybe his misunderstanding isn't a misunderstanding, but he wasn't the only one to read that text. But his resolve strengthened once again, and he refused to believe that Sano liked him as more than a friend, and refused to believe anything else. However, as he fought his own personal battle, Satori, Rui, and Nishina were also having internal dilemmas. The three girls all questioned why Kazuaki was making a blushing face at what Sano said or did, when they individually believed that he only liked them and them alone. Nishina thought that Kazuaki liked her since he called her cute, and that she was adorable and big-boobed, so how could he not? She was his seat neighbor for 2 years in a row, so she has to be his number one, and no one else. Rui sat in her room looking at a photo of her and Kazuaki as kids, remembering how he said that he liked cool people, which is why she did her best to be the coolest girl for his childhood friend. But now she is unsure if he still sees her as his number one. Meanwhile, Satori was crying and drinking alone in the kitchen, recalling how Kazuaki told her that he liked smart girls and how he praised her intelligence. She believed that she knew him well, but now other girls are messaging him. All three of them had the same thought simultaneously. They believed that they were the one that he liked, not knowing his secret refusal to date or accept any vague flirtation for what they truly are, assuming that they don't mean it in that way. And the one placing the pieces on the board to make them play is the one mysterious girl in class that seems to be focused on Kazuaki, Sano. But Sano can see one thing that none of the others can see. All of them are self-centered. Hey everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I did make the script while I was using my own translation, so if anything seems a little slightly off, that would be the reason. I want to apologize again. I thought this was only in Japanese because I got a repost of the author's Twitter post from another author. So I went in there and it showed me the Japanese site, so I believed it was only in Japanese. And then I was quickly proven wrong. Well, not as quickly as I would have hoped, but I was. So I'm sorry about that, and hopefully you enjoy the story. It seems to have a weekly update, so I'm hoping I can keep up with this one. Maybe every second week do 2 episodes added on to the original, so it just kind of builds from there. But we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thank you again to all my members. You all have been wonderful, and you care a lot. You're giving me a bit of money, so you obviously care, and I really appreciate that. So thank you very much for all your support, and everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes, thank you as well. And I hope to see you all again soon.